And we are back at Toledo Speedway in Toledo, Ohio. The RC Cola 200 is in the winner book, in the record books. And from Clio, Michigan, Dennis Berry, the three-time and defending Iceman Series champion, coming home with the win. And he's about to pop the cork down in the winner's circle. So let's go down there and see if Fred Pump and Brian Drebber are getting the shower down there. Okay, they are moving into position.
Well, we're doing the best we can to avoid getting the shower, actually, to Dennis Berry. That's the price of being close to greatness, I guess. You get the champagne shower. Dennis, first of all, congratulations. And second of all, we were keeping pretty close tabs on your crew chief, Mike Dunn. He was talking to you, and you guys were saying, we're not coming in, and everybody else was saying, we're not coming in unless Dennis does. It sure worked.
Yeah, we didn't, to give up the lead spot like that, it was tough. We planned on pitting before the race started, depending on how things fell, but, to give up the lead with this many good cars, I just didn't want to take the chance.
What about the battle in the last few laps with Mario Gosselin, and also coming up from the back was Jody Ridley? He had fresher tires. Were you concerned about him?
Well, I really didn't pay attention to Jody, but Mario, he definitely had me with my hands full. I think he had a better car, but this racetrack here, our race car was just a little bit loose the whole race, and I think if Mario had been behind me the entire race, it'd have been, pretty much trouble for me.
Back up a little bit earlier in the race. Of course, things early on were by no means decided. It was only later when you took the lead and really seemed to have things under control. Some of the other contenders, Dick Anderson notably, and some others fell out of things. When did you feel like you really had this thing kind of where you wanted it?
Well, I really felt better at the first part of the race. I had one of my regular guys, Freddie Campbell, right behind me, and I was pretty comfortable with him, but not racing with Mario. Probably about the last 50 laps, I was really nervous with Mario behind me.
Well, the celebration is far from over. We'll let you continue here. Things are obviously going very much Dennis Berry's way here at the Hooters Cup in Toledo, Ohio.
Thank you very much, Brian Drebber, and congratulations to Dennis Berry. There you see a shot of Jody Ridley, third place out of Chatsworth, Georgia, and I believe that equals his best finish of the year, Mark. And car number 98 had a third-place finish at 411 Motor Speedway in Knoxville, Tennessee, and Jody likes these longer races.
Lately, he's been, especially on the longer races, he comes in the top 5 real regular. I thought maybe he had something for him at the end, but it seemed like he might have been a little under-horsepowered compared to the first 2 cars.
And Joy Fair, you heard Dennis Berry talking about that he was comfortable with Fred Campbell behind him, but he wasn't sure about Mario Gosselin. When you got a driver behind you you're not familiar racing with, does it kind of enter your mind?
Yes, you're uneasy because you don't know how aggressive he is or wants to be, and you're just uneasy would be the word.
Well, let's go down and see what Mario Gosselin had in mind in those last few laps. Let's go down to the pit area.
Mario Gosselin standing right here, of course, and this is where everybody's going to be gathering over the next few minutes to take part in the celebration. Most of it's going to go to Dennis Berry, but you certainly deserve a piece of it. Talk to your crew chief, Jack. He said, we thought we had a little something for him. Apparently that wasn't the case.
Well, I tell you what, we were right there. Budweiser Chevrolet Monte Carlo was right there on him, waiting for him to make a mistake, but he's kind of used to this place. So this is our first time here, but we couldn't have asked for a better car. Budweiser crew, Chevrolet Monte Carlo is just perfect all race. That's all we had. He's awful good here. I got to thank Port City, Penske, Automotive Specialties, Budweiser, everybody that helps on this, sponsors and helps on this car. They've done a great job this weekend.
Toledo Speedway is a place that is very unforgiving of mistakes. You say you were waiting for one. You didn't get one. You didn't make any either.
No, we had a really good car, and it just we could stay right on the bottom and come off corner real good, and so could he. I mean, we were right on his bumper, just didn't have enough to get by him.
Well, congratulations on runner-up and apparently the new points leader. Mario Gosselin at least has that to take home from Toledo Speedway, fellas.
That's right, Mario Gosselin with his 4th second-place finish this year on the Hooters Cup Trail, picked up a win at Southern National Raceway in Kinley, North Carolina. So Mario Gosselin with the point leader coming into this race. Mike Garvey going out early with a crash in turn 3, possibly not of his own doing. That's kind of a driver's call there. Probably the only 2 people that really know what happened are the 2 drivers. And then Dick Anderson, who was second in the points coming into the race, finishing a couple of laps down, had trouble all day long with the Mopar Performance Dodge Daytona. Mario Goslin shining the light for the Southern boys, so to speak, the United Speed Alliance Hooters Cup drivers. And speaking of Southern boys, we got Jody Ridley standing by from Chatsworth, Georgia, down on the front straightaway.
Well, we certainly do. Jody Ridley up here. We talked to Biddle a little ways through just before you got around Kenny Phillips. He said, we think if we get around Kenny, we can run with the leaders. You weren't quite able to get up there with those guys.
Well, I picked up a push along about that time. That's why I had trouble getting my Kenny, and every time I get close to him, my car started pushing. And once I got in the open, I was pretty good, but it wound up graining the tire, and you know, we were really good right then, and all of a sudden just went away on us. So, you know, we made the right move, but it just didn't pan out, I think.
Well, the guys in the booth were saying late in the race it might be your tires versus their horsepower. Was that the way it shook out?
Well, I think it would have been if I hadn't grained the tire up, you know, and evidently the staggered a little bit off and put a little more pressure on the right front. And of course, we tried something new here today too, and maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know, but for whatever reason, it's got a little tight at the end, and it just killed me. I couldn't really get that run. I was getting a really good run early in the race off of 3 and 4 there, and right then I just couldn't do it. So that's what did me in. But the guys did a good job, you know, and we like I said, I think we made the right move, but it just didn't pan out for us.
A couple of tough days of racing here. You glad this weekend is over?
Well, I'm kind of tired and ready to go home, and you know, it's been a rough year for me, and we're still digging, and gonna keep running to the end, but we're gaining on a little bit. But 200 lap is more to my liking anyway.
Well, there you have it, fellas, your north versus south battle, where we're going back down south here, and this guy right next to me just might be the guy to watch for the next couple of times.
That's right. Jody Ridley and the rest of the Hooters Cup Cars and Stars will be headed for DeSoto Speedway in Bradenton, Florida, a 3/8 mile high-banked oval in West Florida, and that's going to be a good race. We're going to see a lot of local drivers that we normally don't see that do a good job there at DeSoto Speedway, and a homecoming for a lot of drivers. Dick Anderson, Bobby Gill, and Jimmy Cope will be back in action. And those 3 drivers, former track champions at DeSoto Speedway. So that's going to be coming up in 2 weeks on October the 21st. So we're looking forward to going back to DeSoto Speedway. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back to wrap things up from Toledo, Ohio on the High Bank half mile at Toledo Speedway. We'll be right back right after these messages, so stay with us. And there is some of the scenery we're looking at here at Toledo Speedway as we have concluded the RC Cola 200. Dennis Berry, the winner. And you know, Mark Bishardi, not only have these crews and drivers had a tough weekend. We raced at Columbus, Ohio last night, loaded everything up, made about a 3.5-hour drive up here to Toledo Speedway. But I've also got to thank all of our guys on our Hooters sports crew, all the folks down in the truck, and all the camera people out here. They have done a great job because they did not have much time like these crew members did of putting this thing together in a short amount of time. They were still stringing cables around here about, maybe 3 minutes before we went on the air.
They did a terrific job. I think some of them kind of had doubts within themselves, but they kept plugging and they got it done. And I think we had a good broadcast tonight. I saw a great race, and I enjoyed it.
Well, I'm looking forward to going to DeSoto Speedway in Bradenton, Florida, coming up in 2 weeks. And that's going to be a good one. The point battle shaping up. Mario Goslin had a good run. We kind of had a split between the north versus the south. Dick Anderson winning last night at Columbus. Dennis Berry, one of the Iceman Series stars, the defending and 3-time champion, winning here this afternoon at Toledo Speedway. So it's been a great visit up here. We want to thank the Knuckles family down at Columbus Motor Speedway, and we also want to thank the folks here at Toledo Speedway for being so hospitable to us. Promoter Sonny Adams and his PR man, John Lang. They've all been gracious hosts to us as we've made our trip up to the north here in Ohio, and we look forward to coming back again next year. And we hope that you will join us again in 2 weeks, coming up on October the 21st at DeSoto Speedway in Bradenton, Florida, for the running of the RC Cola 200 3/8 mile high bank paved oval. It's going to be an exciting show. It'll be the RC Cola 200 plus twin 50s for the Hooters Formula Cup cars. So we look forward to having you join us. You can check your local listings for times in your area. And we also want to thank Joy Fair the 6-time Toledo Speedway track champion, for joining us today. Thanks to Brian Dreber and Fred Pump for providing us with the information down in the pit area. And Mark Bishardi, we thank you for helping us out today. And we look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks at Bradenton.
I'm looking forward to it, too. And I'm looking forward to see a guy we missed dearly this weekend in Jimmy Cope, Mr. Excitement. And
he will be Mr. Excitement for sure at DeSoto Speedway in Bradenton. And again, the winner today, Dennis Berry out of Michigan, and last night at Columbus Motor Speedway, Dick Anderson the winner. Mario Gosselin with a 3rd place finish at Columbus and a 2nd place finish here today, comes home with the point lead in the Hooters Cup Series, and they're going to tee it up again in 2 more weeks at DeSoto Speedway in Bradenton, Florida. So on behalf of all of us with Hooters Sports, this is Roby Helms saying thank you and good afternoon.